And we're back. All right. I'm going to make a post to tell everybody. And then, yeah, I don't know if you want to send a message to Jordan or Jay.
I probably hit up Jordan. I had Jay on last week for like 20 or 30 minutes.
Oh yeah, so what happened last week? What was the story?
He sent me a package with a new Manson painting.
Okay.
And it had a bunch of other stuff, so I opened it on stream with him, and it was an interesting package. It had I have a lot of the stuff down here, but I straight up am not that mobile in this costume that I'm in right now.
Yeah.
But he sent me a Japanese Slumber Party Massacre poster that's really cool. A G.G. Allen documentary on DVD. I don't even like G.G. Allen.
Okay.
He sent me two small-sized condoms and one women's condom. The women's condom I was kind of excited for because I've never seen one before. It's still unopened. Like I have to.
What a woman's condom?
You never
What
heard
is
of this?
that? Yeah, no, what does it look like? Is it the cup? Like what it
Hold on. Wow, where did I put it? I don't know where I put this stuff. Hold on. Oh, you know what? Right here. All right. So first of all, here are the two small-sized condoms. One says Iron Grip.
Okay.
It says Iron Grip, tighter size for iron men, which is like I guess their way of trying to make you feel better about yourself.
Okay.
And then right here, Lifestyles, snugger fit. And then here is you can feel it. It's basically just like a condom, but you can feel the ring is like that wide.
Yeah.
So I guess this
No,
is what goes,
I remember sex ed.
It sounds like the worst idea ever. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know any girl in the world that's gonna put that shit in.
I don't know either.
And then you sent me these trading cards. They're actually pretty cool. The main one I liked was Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
But yeah, he does that. He just like sends people random stuff in the mail that he has laying around his room.
That's cool though.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
So what are you gonna do with that woman's condom?
Oh, I'm just gonna keep it in my drawer. I mean, what are you gonna do with it?
Yeah, but like I could actually picture you in some kind of scenario where you have a girl over and then you're like, shit, I don't have a condom, but I have this. And then she's like, what the fuck? And then she's like, I can't do that.
No. It's funny. I don't like to I try not to talk to you like you're one of the fucking boys because I try to be respectful. But I've never put on a condom in my life. It's funny. We were gonna talk about what we did over the week. That has a little bit to do with what I got into over the weekend. I'm still trying to figure out how to talk about it in like a not completely delinquent way. But
No, but I want to hear it in a delinquent way.
I know. I'll end up telling it in in the way I tell stuff. But yeah, no. I thought it was cool. I didn't even think when women's condoms were real. I thought like my health teacher just made it up.
Well, I mean, I've always known that they're real, but I don't know any woman that uses them. I mean, at least all of the women that I know, they're always like, well, I'm on birth control and they don't want to use a condom.
Yeah.
Because they just feel comfortable with whoever they're with, or they have the guy put one on. I've never heard of a woman saying,
I don't think any girl
throw one in.
Yeah, what girl would wait? Yeah, I don't see any girl that I've ever known willing to put that. Yeah, sounds terrible.
Yeah. That's so fucking funny. Oh my gosh. All right. Did you make a post, by the way, before we?
Yeah, I just posted it.
Okay. I'm going to find a photo. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so what happened over the weekend and the week?
I thought you were gonna go first.
Um, well, I just got back from Minnesota.
That
So,
I can remember where you went. I was trying to tell Jay last week, and I don't remember anything.
yeah, I went to the Midwest because I grew up there and my family lives there. And I haven't been back in like many years since I was like a kid. Cause I hated living there so much. But then like going back as an adult, I'm like, I would fucking live here. Cause California is on such a decline. I'm like, I'm ready to go. This is amazing. I didn't see a single homeless person in the entire Twin City area. I didn't see a single piece of trash on the floor anywhere I went. Everybody was so kind. I mean, it was like, you walk your dog down the street here in LA and like people just won't look you in the eye. They just like walk the other way. But like there, you walk down the road and people are like, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm like, "The fuck?" People say hi. So that was cool. And then like there's a huge alternative scene there, more so than I feel like there is in, I don't know, at least in LA, because everywhere I went, even the old people were just blasted with tattoos. My family owns a cabin that's like 5 hours north of the Twin Cities in the middle of nowhere. And this little old lady at the gas station was just covered in tattoos. And she was like, "Are you a tattoo artist?" And I'm like, "Okay, wow, that's nuts." So that was cool. Definitely found a place I want to go to eventually. I don't
Yeah,
know what
sounds
you
cool.
know about like the Midwest.
Yeah, I always thought the Midwest sounded like a fun part of the country.
I remember though, because I went to when I was in elementary through middle school, I lived there. And it was like, early 2000s when like the scene and emo culture was becoming quite prominent. And I was super into all of that. And I remember it was quite big in Minnesota. Um, and it seems like it still is because I thought it was funny. Like everywhere I went, when I was meeting people that were like, 20s, 30s, you could tell that they were once like a part of the scene because everybody had gauges that were taken out.
Oh
But
yeah,
I never, like here in LA, I never see people really with gauges or like, they've taken them out at least. Um, so I guess there's a huge Midwest scene out there for that kind of style, which I think is really cool.
yeah.
So yeah, that was my week. It was pretty nice. And now I'm back here in the shit show of LA.
Right.
What did you do?
I didn't go far. I went to like the next town over. Trying to think of like the classiest way to word it. I partook in like a classic affair
Okay, tell me.
where I played the role of homewrecker.
Okay, what'd you do?
Um, there's there's this girl. Obviously, I won't say her name.
Okay.
Even though it'd be the one. I'm not saying her name because of her, because I don't give a shit. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't want to say I feel bad for her boyfriend because he sounds like a dick too. I hung out with this girl. There's this girl that I've known for a couple years now.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. We used to hook up like 2 or 3 years ago, and back then she had a boyfriend too. Um, so like around 4th of July, we kind of started talking again for no reason, and then yeah, over the weekend we hung out and stuff, and dude, I got super annoyed because like we went over to not the town I live in or the town she lives in, but like the next town over from us.
Yeah.
And we were doing whatever we were doing. When I say classic affair, I mean like we got like a hotel room and shit. Like we were like straight up going for it.
Okay.
So like in the middle of the night, basically, her boyfriend starts calling her, and according to her,
that's
she
so
cheats on him all the time. So this is like nothing new to him. So he
Okay.
starts calling her, and she fucking hits decline on her phone the first time. And I'm like, why would you do like? I was
Was it
exposed. I was like
was
very surprised. I was not surprised because she's stupid. I can say that very confidently. This girl is just incredibly stupid. Like I said, I've known her for years. She's just not smart. But for a girl that cheats on her boyfriend all the time, I was very surprised at how bad she is at executing this. So she hits decline, which obviously lets the person know that you're intentionally, declining their phone call.
yeah.
So of course he calls her again a couple seconds later. And what does she do? She answers the phone. I hear him yelling, "Where are you? Where are you?" She tells him what town we're in, and then says, "Don't worry about it," and hangs up on him.
What?
Like, why would you tell him what town we're in? She's like, "Well, I didn't tell him where we are." I was like, okay, but why would you even tell him what town we're in? So then he calls again. Again, she answers and says the town that we're in, and then says, "Don't worry about it." And then I'm like, "What are you doing?" And she goes, "Oh, he already knows where I am." And I was like, "How does he know where you are?" And she's like, I don't know. She just started freezing up at this point.
Did they
So
have a polyamorous relationship?
no, not at all. So I'm starting to think that she's like trying to get us to, like she wants us to fight or something,
Yeah.
which I'm really not all that into. If I was 19 or 20, I would 100% like hook up with a dude's girlfriend and then fight him. But at the age of 30, when I try to be like polite and respectful, I'm not gonna hook up with your girlfriend and then fight you on top of it. Like that's just terrible.
That's so
So
wild.
what?
That's so wild.
Yeah, I was just very surprised at how bad she was at like executing this. One of my friends was like, "Dude, she couldn't like turn her phone off." I'm like, that's what they do in the movies. Like that's what you think would
And
happen." Like,
she must like really not care.
well, I know she
You
doesn't
know?
care.
Like she might as well have just said what hotel you guys were at.
Well, I know she doesn't care because she I don't know. She's a very unreliable narrator. Um, she's like a trip. I couldn't even explain what she's like as a person. Trying to have a conversation with her is like trying to carry on 3 different conversations with 3 different people about 3 different subjects at the same time. And,
So you don't have like any other girl. Okay, was this just like a situation, like a time and place where she was available, or is this someone that you like actively hook up with? Like you don't have any other options? She sounds horrible.
no, I don't have any. What do you mean any other options? Look at what I'm wearing. I mean, do I have options? No, no.
I don't
This
know.
was like,
That's why I'm asking.
no, she
Oh,
is
that's funny.
she is terrible. I've always said that the one thing that like I said, I've known her for years. Like I've been, I guess, like cool with her for a long time. I've never been able to enter into any serious relationship with her because I can't fucking talk to her for more than 2 minutes. Like she irritates the shit out of me.
Damn. But then, like, so is the sex that good that you tolerate with it, or is it like the only stuff you can get?
I won't get into that. It's whatever. But
Okay.
no. So the way the night ended finally was that he calls her and he keeps yelling. I can hear him yelling on the phone. He's like, "Where the
Wait,
fuck are you?"
also, like, what time of night is this?
We didn't even get to. It's only like 9 or 10 at this point.
Okay, so it's not like 3 a.m. It's pretty early.
No, we
Okay.
had started the night, if you're catching my drift, but then we had taken a break because we were gonna go get booze, and this is when this all happens, is during this break.
Okay.
So yeah, I hear him yelling, and I've literally been in this situation with her before. The first time we hooked up, she had
Yeah.
a boyfriend who was calling and asking, "Where are you?" and she kept bullshitting him. And I feel bad because we've all been there. Every guy has been with a girl that they know is cheating on them, and they call them like in that moment where you actively know where they are and what they're doing. You might know for sure, or you might just have a clue or like a hunch, but you know you're right, and you keep calling and she's lying to you, and you just fucking know it.
Yeah.
And I can hear this guy every time she hangs up and answers the phone again. I can hear him like progressively going down deeper, and I'm like, oh, I feel bad for the guy. He's like, "Where the fuck are you?" And she keeps telling him the town, but not. I'm like, dude, stop answering the phone. Like, turn your phone off. And she's one of those people that just kind of freezes in like shitty situations. Like, she won't. So I was like, well, I was like, well, what are you gonna do? And she's like, nothing. And I was like, well, you just told him what town you're in. And then she starts looking out the window, like looking for. I'm like, dude, now you're starting to freak me out because I don't want to deal with this. Like, I don't
Is
want to go to jail because I get in a
is
fight with a guy in a hotel lobby and then I have to call my mom or something. Like,
is it a small town that you guys were in?
it's small enough.
Okay. So do you think he could have like found you guys if he wanted
I,
to?
n- I wouldn't think so. I don't know the guy. I was honestly just getting annoyed with her. Like, I
But
really wasn't worried about this guy or like I'm not concerned about this guy showing up. I'm just mad at her. So
but like that's kind of a weird response to just say like, "Oh, I'm in whatever town." Because did he ask like, "Well, what are you doing there?" You know, like
I didn't hear that deep.
that's
All I
just
ever heard was him yelling, "Where are you?" and her saying, "I'm in such and such town. Don't worry about it." And then she would hang up.
okay.
I basically ended up telling her to get lost. Like I ended up crashing in the hotel room and getting like drinking by myself because it was fun.
Damn.
I was like, yeah, I don't want to deal with this.
Yeah.
I kept asking her, I'm like, is he like the way she said that he already knows where I'm at, the first thing I thought was like, well, they've probably got location shit on their phones.
Probably.
But I didn't know that. That was just guessing. So I just was like, I don't want to deal with it. You're stupid. You don't know how to do this properly. Like
Unless she wants to like break up with him, but she's scared to, so she thinks if like there's a big fight,
she won't break up with him.
do that.
And
Yeah,
he won't
that's
break up. No, they're one of those. Like,
uh,
so what I told her to do was I said, how about you go home and you break up with him and then you can come back. And so it gets weirder. She basically goes home and then calls me and then starts telling me how much she likes me and how much she enjoys doing this with me. And then I hear him yelling at her in the background. So she's just on the phone with me in front of him, telling me how much she likes me, and her boyfriend's just yelling at her, and I'm like, "What? Like, I'm going to bed. Like, I don't want to do this anymore."
so he knew that she was with you.
I would assume so because she's literally telling me on the phone.
Wow. Then
It's a very
she must want to like get caught or something. There has to be
it's
a
it's it's
reason.
a it's a weird. She's a strange case.
How old is this person?
She's 29.
Oh.
You would never guess it by talking to her.
It's a little sad. It sounds like if you said like, "Oh, she's 21," I might be like, "Yeah, makes sense."
No, she's 29 and she has not figured out how to properly cheat on a
Uh,
partner.
that's just wow. So, so is she gonna text you again, or has she texted you?
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, she was texting me the day after, and then I think we talked a little bit the day before yesterday. Well, what was the day before yesterday? Like Monday?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
we talked like once or twice more. She'll end up hitting me up at some point. She'll get drunk and then she'll hit me up, is what'll happen.
so then what are you gonna do?
And I don't know. I mean,
Are you gonna be like, "Yeah, I'm down"?
oh,
And
like if she wants to hang out again,
yeah, are you gonna go for it?
it'll completely depend on my mood. It was funny. I left a pair of sunglasses in her car, and they were $12 sunglasses. And so I was telling my friend about it, and I was like, "Oh, it's no big deal. I'll just buy a new pair." And he's like, "I like that you're admitting that you'd rather spend $12 than go to her to pick up your sunglasses."
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm very impulsive. I could wake up tomorrow, and I could wake up tomorrow and hit her up myself and feel like dealing with it for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Well, that's not true. I won't hit her up. She asked me to hang out over the weekend, but if
And
she ever
so wait,
catches me in the right mood.
so how did you meet this person?
So it's kind of funny. We graduated from high school together, but I don't remember her at all. The first time I met her, it was just on Instagram. We got into messaging,
Okay.
and then we hung out, and she was like, "Yeah, we went to high school together," and I was like, I don't believe you. Like, what are you talking about?" And she's like, "Dude, I saw you around all the time." Blah blah blah. And after we hung out the first time, I went home and I grabbed my yearbook, and I was like, "Oh shit, she went to high school with me." I
Yeah.
never saw her, but she
Yeah.
apparently saw me around. But so my answer is we met just on Instagram.
Yeah.
She
So
was around. God, this is how much of a terrible person I am. The 5-year long girlfriend that I've been devastated about for like fucking years now, right?
yeah.
even when I was with her, like toward the end of our run, we weren't doing so well, so it kind of makes sense. But toward the end of our run, I had started talking to this girl on Instagram. And then once we broke up, I took however many months I took to cry about it. And then I was like, oh, remember that girl you were talking to? Just hit her up. And then I hit her up, and sure enough, yeah.
That's wild.
But
Yeah. I mean,
I-
you must have made an impression on her, and she noticed you since high school.
she is 100% more into me than I am to her, and that's not
Yeah.
even like I wish it wasn't true.
Oh, shame. That's crazy. Maybe she's hoping. It seems like she has some kind of like dependency on the boyfriend she has, but she doesn't want to dump him. So if there's a big fight, then they'll be forced to break up, and then she'll come running to you.
I don't think he'll. First of all, I couldn't do a real relationship with her. Like, you cannot talk to her for. I mean, literally longer than like 1 minute. Like it's absurd. I wish I could explain it. It's like
Like, is she annoying or how does she?
she's very spastic. First of all,
Oh,
like I actually think she's like spastic. Like she picked me up. She picked me up over the weekend. So we're in her car. She's driving. She's on the freeway. This is like the best kind of like example or impression I can do of her. She's driving. She's on the freeway. We're not talking. We're listening to music, and she goes, "Oh shit!" Like something is surprising her, and I'm like, "What?" And she's, "Oh, nothing." Not even kidding. Like 20 seconds later, she goes, "Oh fuck." I'm like, "What?" She goes, "Oh, sorry, no, nothing."
does she have, what is it called? Tourette's?
No, she doesn't have Tourette's. She's just fucking retarded. That's what's going on. And she's a booze hound.
Okay.
She's not an alcoholic. She'll try to tell you she's not, because she's a booze hound. There's a difference.
The way you're describing her reminds me it reminds me about like all the girls I used to see like during my rave days in high school, and they were all like kind of like ghetto girls that were like tweaker thin with like long orange or brown hair, and they would be talking a million miles a minute and were super annoying. Does she look like that? What does she look like?
No, she's
No.
she's I keep hitting my microphone. She's Mexican. She's one of those girls who doesn't look Mexican though.
Okay.
She just looks like a basic white girl, but she's
Okay.
Mexican. She speaks Spanish a little bit, which is kind of cool.
Okay.
But yeah, you just can't have a conversation with her.
Does she drive an Altima?
Surprisingly, no.
Okay.
She actually. Okay, so when she picked me up, she called me. She's like, "Yeah, I'm outside." I said, "Okay, cool. What car are you in?" She told me it was a Toyota Camry. I get out there. It's not a Toyota Camry. I don't remember what car it was, but it was not a Camry. So that was a whole annoying thing in itself, is what car she drove. But no, it's not an Altima, which you would think it was. But yeah, no, she's just annoying. Yeah, she's just stupid. And I would send her this entire conversation shamelessly, and then probably still be able to hook up with her like the next day.
That's rough, dude. So
But
you tell this story to like your guy friends?
oh yeah, I was texting them all night. We're in a group chat.
What do they say?
I mean, what do you think guys say?
I don't know. They're just like, get it, it's pussy, or I don't. That's what I would imagine.
Basically, yeah, this all got spurred on because one of my buddies was telling me I need to. He basically, just you need to, he's like, you need to suck it up and just do something to get yourself back in. I was like,
Yeah.
I can't work like that though. I'm kind of a wuss. So like when I'm talking about, I don't like her because I can't have a conversation with her.
Yeah.
Like I really can't. The last girl before this girl that I hooked up with was the same thing. I was like 27 and I think she was like 22 at the time.
Yeah.
And I couldn't fucking stand talking to her for like more than 2 minutes. Like,
So this current chick, is she like illiterate? Like what? Like,
you would damn near assume so by talking. I mean, I text
but
her, she can fucking read, but
that's like so sad that you tolerate that.
Yeah, you're telling me.
Wow.
You
Huh.
get bored every once in a while, but
Yeah.
it's out of my system now, so I'm good.
So what do you think about like online dating?
I
Just
tried it one time for like a week before I met the 5-year-long girlfriend, coincidentally. And in
okay.
that 1 week, I mean, nothing ever happens.
Yeah. Yeah, online dating is like rough.
Yeah, I don't really care for even trying it.
Yeah, there's some like serious weirdos out there. But I mean, like, I'd be curious to see like what the pool of women look like in your area when you go on those apps.
Probably not well, that's a part of the problem, honestly. I remember when I was trying it, I was, like, running into girls that I went to high school with.
Okay.
So I was like, "Okay, well, this is a problem." Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you knew them all.
Yeah, like,
Damn.
it really is a situation of, like, I need to move.
So yeah. Well, I've been telling you that for so long. You need to move. You need to move at least to like a city, like a big city. I mean, like what okay, compared to like where you are, what would happen if you moved to like Sacramento? Or do you like is that where you go to like hang out? Or you hang out like in your town?
I don't hang out in my town at all.
Okay.
Uh, as of lately, if I'm hanging out, yeah, it's just 'cause I have one group of friends, and the guy that we kinda all meet up at his house is in Sacramento.
Yeah. I mean like there's got to be like a lot more women there. But like what's the pool of women like in
I
Sacramento?
don't know. We've only ever, they've taken me out. We've gone out, like, a couple times, and
Yeah.
we've only ever gone to, like, 1 or 2 bars, like, in Midtown, and yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure there are plenty of girls in Sacramento, it's a big city, but it's just not
Yeah.
none
Yeah.
that I've run into.
I think you need to move
Yeah,
somehow.
yeah, 100%.
You know, I don't know where. I feel like you should go somewhere like maybe overseas on an adventure. That'd be pretty cool.
Find a foreign girl.
Yeah. But like what countries would you want to go to?
I think Russian girls are hot.
Can you get in now?
I was just gonna say, even if I could, I think I'd be shunned by all the people here that say, like, Russia is the devil.
I mean, you could go to like I think you can get into like Poland.
Yeah, I'd wanna go to, like, Germany or one of those
Yeah.
European places.
Yeah. No, I have some friends that live in Germany and I hear it's cool. So, I don't know what it's like though, like if you need to know at least like some of the language or if they have like English signs up.
I would think, for me, it'd be like, yeah, of course, out of respect, I would wanna learn some of their language. I wouldn't wanna well, I would feel disrespectful of going into another country and expecting them all to cater to me.
Yeah, I mean, it, yeah, I mean, Germany is like a big touristy place, so I'm sure they do cater to English speakers.
I'm sure they do, I just mean for me,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
that's how I would feel about it.
yeah. What is it called? What do what's that app that everybody uses to learn a language?
Oh, it's not Rosetta Stone.
No, it's I don't know why, but that singer's name Dua Lipa comes into mind, but that's not it. What is it called? It's
I don't know.
let's look it up. Um, now it's gonna bother me. It's not Babbel. It's something. I don't know. Duolingo. That's it.
Oh,
I don't know how they do it though. I think they might like give you little like quizzes and games or something of the sort.
I think that's how they all do it.
Yeah, I'm terrible at learning new languages.
Well, yeah, once you're old, it gets harder.
Yeah, but I was terrible at it like in elementary school. I was just,
Well, everything's
uh,
impossible to learn in elementary school.
I know, but just terrible. Some people just, got it on a whim, not me. couldn't do Spanish, couldn't do French. I think I passed sign language though, because that was, you just have to remember the hand
My
movement.
my longest girlfriend, she was very fluent in sign language. It was actually really cool.
Yeah, I did a semester of it. It was okay.
Yeah.
Remember some of it, but yeah, I just I I went to France once, and the reason I ask you, like, does Germany cater towards English speakers, because I went to France once and that was not the case. I was quite surprised because, especially like in Paris, it's one of the most touristy cities in the entire world, but you go there and literally every single sign is in French. And I've been
Yeah.
to other countries where it's like it's the language but also English. So I was kind of expecting at least some of that, but that was like not the case. Like I was just like the person I was with spoke French and they just had to do all the speaking for me, and it kind of sucked. But
That surprises me in France. It doesn't surprise me. Like, it does and it doesn't. I mean, just, the way that I said, I feel like a dick if I went to another country expecting them to cater to me, but it seems like, honestly, every country caters to American tourists just for money.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of English speaking tourists. I mean, there's a lot of tourists that come from England or other parts of the EU. So, I thought, yeah. I mean, even like when you go on the train in Paris, it's all in French. You have to know some of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was rough, but I made it. So, but I mean, you go there and there's like thousands and thousands of tourists, so people are getting around somehow. But when they say that like French people don't really like Americans, I definitely felt that there.
I don't think anyone likes Americans.
Well, I mean, I don't know. When I went to like England, it was cool.
Well, they're
But
just afraid of you because they don't want you to whoop their ass and take their tea again or whatever.
but no, like in when I went to Paris, because I guess like France is a heavily Catholic nation, and I didn't really realize that until I was there. And they're very much like anti anything alternative. So like anti like piercings, colored hair, tattoos. Like some guy spit on me because I was tattooed. Like I went into like I needed to I was buying shoes somewhere. Like I went into like their version of like a Foot Locker to get some shoes, and this guy was walking around and he like looked at me and was just like disgusted with my being and like just like spat on me, and I was like, "Oh my god." And then I actually went to get a tattoo while I was there, and then the artist was like, yeah, it's a very tiny scene here. They only tattoo like a couple of times a week at most. It's just like, it's so religious there. I had no idea. But I mean, it does like, it makes sense. But yeah. But I don't know. I mean, I have a lot of friends that have gone to Paris and they're like, this place rocks. But I'm like, I did not have that experience.
Yeah.
To each their own. But I think Germany is pretty cool. They have like a huge metal scene.
Oh, I hate German metal.
Do you?
Yeah, I'm not down with all that.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
I'm gonna go somewhere for the music scene, I'd go to Japan because Japan has great like pop rock bands.
Yeah. Um, Japan is cool. I mean, they have like very strict regulations and rules on tattooed people, so that's why I've like never been, because I have friends that have been that are extremely tattooed and they have been banned from places. Like this one chick I know, she's covered like head to toe, and they wanted to go to Disneyland there, and then the guards at Disneyland were like, you need to put on like a full raincoat to come in, or you need to stay out. So it was like the height of summer and she had to wear like a full hat and coat over her body.
Yeah, Japan doesn't deal with delinquents.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. And then you can't like go anywhere where there's water or any like sanctuary site or bathhouses. So I don't know. I feel like it would be cool to go, but I just don't want to deal with that. I don't want to be in a situation where they're like they look at me and they're like, "Okay, we're gonna arrest you because of your look."
Well, I have two friends that have been there a couple times, and one of them, they're a couple, they're married, and the guy, he's black, and so if he can survive in Japan, I think you could survive with tattoos in Japan.
Yeah, but I
I
feel
think I
like
think he did tell me one time that when he was there, he was walking around like somewhere in like a downtown with his hood on, and he said everybody kept staring at him, and he's like, "What's going on?" And I think
yeah,
somebody eventually told him like it's weird to wear your hood in Japan, like if it's not raining,
yeah,
like it
yeah,
looks kind of hooliganish.
yeah. I don't know. I just feel like for me, it's kind of hard to hide some of my tattoos. I've got them on my face and my hands. And so I just don't want to be in a situation where they're like, the fuck is wrong with you? So I just won't go to Asian countries.
Yeah.
Not that I don't want to, but I've just like seen the crap that my friends have been through. So it's a hard no for now.
Yeah. Yeah, it
But
makes sense.
yeah, but I'm sure if you go, you'll have a great time.
Yeah, I have no tattoos.
Yeah, no, you'll be good. Do you want to text Jordan and bring on his 10 minutes of
Yeah, let me see.
chaos?
I need to forgot I gotta send the link on here.
Okay.
I always forget where I send the links from.
I wonder if anyone is watching.
No, and I can't see the numbers anymore for some reason.
When I click the link to go to your YouTube page, it shows it next to the live.
Yeah, on YouTube, but remember it used to show us on the Restream website.
Um, let's see. Who is this? Oh.
Who is who?
Oh, I'm wondering. There's this kid that follows me. I think he lives in South Africa. And he's like, anytime I post something, he comments. He's an artist. Um, his art's pretty cool. And I just saw he liked my like join the stream. I wonder if I should like personally invite him because I think he gets kind of nervous. But if I say like, hey, come in, we could have like someone from overseas come into the room and talk about their art. Let me see. I actually don't even know what he looks like.
Well, hold on. I just messaged Jordan.
Okay. We can wait for that.
Yeah, I have no idea if he messaged me, he sent me a video at like 5:20.
Okay, so he's on his phone.
Well, as of over an hour ago.
Yeah. Okay.
I just never replied because I was busy setting all this up and sweating in this mask.
Wait, did you put that on like while you were setting up, or like you could have waited till we went live?
I know, I just put it on because I had to test it out because I had to test out if I can hear the headphones over the hood and the mask.
Okay. That
And
makes
then I had to see I cut a hole in the mouth so that my voice kind of travels to the microphone a little bit. That's why the mouth like hinges like that.
okay.
But yeah, I'm like dripping sweat into my eyes. It's burning really bad.
So if you take it off, will you look worse than with the mask on right now?
I'll be drenched in sweat, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm trying to champ it out.
I actually would love for Jordan to join the chat because I have some family drama I can talk about for entertainment, and I would love his input because it's extremely controversial.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, I had to deal with some family drama when I was in the Midwest,
I would
and
imagine.
and it's I mean, we can talk about it anyways if he doesn't respond soon. But I'd love to know like other people's opinion on it, because there's like different viewpoints of it, because it is about a very touchy subject. So
Well, what is the touchy subject at least?
it's about race.
Oh, do you have racists in your family?
No. It's like basically my one of my aunts and uncles years ago. Like, okay, do you remember like in the early 2000s when like Angelina Jolie adopted like kids from Africa, and then it was just like a thing?
Yeah.
So like during that time, my aunt and uncle were like a part of that. So in my family, it's like a bunch of like super religious white folk, and then I have this aunt and uncle who are like not religious, and they adopted two Ethiopian boys.
Yeah.
So it's like there's like two black kids in my family, and it's just like it just when everybody's like sitting around, it's like whoa.
Does
And
everyone have a
so
problem with it or something?
no, not at all. It's just like I think the boys have a problem with it now, because they're like 16, 17 now, so they're like at that point where they're kind of like realizing the world around them, and they're kind of like rebelling, and so like shit went down when I was there. And it's just like it I don't know, it's tough. It's tough. The older one is like rebelling a lot with like drugs and alcohol, and he's kind of like the other night, like we were all sitting around in the living room, and then he like walked in, and it's like 12 white people, and he like walks in and he's like, oh hell nah, and then he like stormed off, and it's a whole thing. And so I've just kind of been like thinking, what do like do we know, like do a lot of people adopt, like do a lot of like white people adopt black children, and like what do other people think about that?
I think they do. I actually just saw this on Twitter a couple days ago. There was of course, it got all political. Some black lady went on some rant on TikTok asking, why do white families adopt black kids? They shouldn't do that. But then somebody replied and said, why do so many black kids need adopting?
That's true.
So it's just however you look at it. Like you could say, yeah, the white people are. I mean, if it
Well,
sounds like they adopted some Ethiopian kids who might have been in need.
yeah, no, I mean, okay, there's like two sides of this coin, because yeah, my aunt and uncle, they flew to Ethiopia, and so they went the first time, and then they got the one boy, and then they enjoyed it so much, like 2 or 3 years later they went back to get a second boy. But it's like it's interesting because both of these boys, they're from completely different biological parents. So I'm like, at the end of the day, like these are just two dudes living with each other with like some white people. It's like they're not even from like the same mom. Like they look completely different. One of them is like 6'5", and then the younger one is like 5'5". It's like they're completely different people.
Well, but that's how adoption works. You don't always get
Yeah,
brothers.
yeah. But then it's like, yeah. So it's like if they hadn't been adopted, I mean, realistically, they might not even, they could have like not have lived this long. I mean, from what I heard, like the mother was living in a hut. She didn't have much, so it's very possible that they could have just like not survived. So, you know, and they've definitely had like a great childhood, like everything they've ever wanted they've gotten. But then at the same time, it's like I don't know, to me I feel like there's like the whole, like the history of black culture is so deeply rooted, and it's like just hundreds and hundreds of years long. And I feel like at the end of the day, those boys are going to need some kind of like black adult to teach them things that my family wouldn't be able to. And
Well,
so
then
I
they can
feel like
take some.
that's why they're like rebelling right now.
Yeah, then they could take some fucking classes or something.
I don't know. It's like, you know, it's just like, it's weird. Like the other day, we were all sitting around in the living room, and then like the older one was out, and then like the younger one was like with us. So it's like 12 like heavily white people sitting around and then kind of like gawking over this like young black child because I think like we were celebrating like his 8th grade graduation. And so I don't know if I was just like overthinking it, but I'm like, isn't this kind of weird? You know, I don't know. And I'm like, doesn't he feel weird about this? You know,
Yeah, but
what
then
it's gonna
then you
do.
got to go overall perspective. Would you rather shit be kind of weird, or would you rather be fucking starving in a hut in Africa?
Yeah, no, exactly. That's why I'm saying like there's just so many pieces to this, but I just
Yeah.
like it's weird. It's just it's weird and you know, it's not like I like don't want them to be there. It's just like I feel like I get very like sensitive towards that stuff.
Yeah.
Um because I'm like sensitive towards them because you know you see so much on the news. Um
This is
and
in
so
Minnesota.
yeah, I was in Minnesota.
So they've probably never seen a black person in their life.
No, there's like a in Minnesota, there's like a huge like Hmong community and like Lebanese community. There's a lot of black people there.
Uh,
Um, and so I guess like when you adopt a kid from overseas, like whatever company you use, they hook you up with other families that are also doing it. So like they've always known other families in their area that have adopted kids from Ethiopia. So they have like that community. But I just kind of feel like, well, at the end of the day, like, is it right for like a white person to do something like that? I don't know. Cause I just feel like there's I don't know. What do you think?
well, I don't think it's wrong. I mean,
Yeah, no, it's like it's not wrong, but I just feel like there's so much that like white people can't teach them, you know, and they need at least some kind of mentor or something of the sort. I don't know. Like I was like reading online, like, you know, you see these comments and some people are like, well, it's just like a white savior complex and you know, I don't
no,
know.
the white savior complex is the 20-year-old white girl posting a black square on her Instagram thinking she's saving somebody's fucking life.
Yeah.
To
No,
me,
that
your relatives actually probably are saviors of some fucking starving children. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
unless, I mean, I don't know your relatives. They could just be assholes that want to trophy some black. I mean, there are those people too that just want to walk around and show how good of a person they are, so they adopt a bunch of black kids and don't actually give a fuck about them.
No, they're like very humanitarian. Um and yeah, I mean they love their kids to death, but it's just I don't know. I guess like my anxieties, like I like kind of like project my anxieties like onto these boys. So it's like, yeah, we're sitting around and we're all kind of like gawking over this like one black child. And in like I'm sitting there feeling like, doesn't he feel weird? Like because I would feel weird, you know, just being like the only black person like surrounded by like a gang of white people. But then it's like this is his family. This is all he's known. But I don't know. It's just
You know, grow up like Carlton from Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
yeah. Well, yeah, so it's like the younger one is very like white with his personality. He's very like he's kind of like Carlton. He's like very nerdy. Um and you know, he yeah, he's just like he's become like a white kid essentially. But then
Yeah,
the older one is really into the black culture, and so he's been like rebelling against the family quite a bit. um and I mean, I don't know like what exactly he does, but I think he's kind of like found a group of people that he's, you know, associating with.
yeah.
And so they're like very much polar opposites.
When you say a group of people, what are you talking about?
Like, well, he's found like for I don't know. I don't know. I just know that like he used to be like his little brother, and then I haven't seen him in a couple of years, and then on this trip he's like grown up and he's clearly found like a group of friends. I would assume he has found like a group of like Black friends that he enjoys to be with. And he's really embracing like the culture. And which is fine, but then it's like, you know, he's kind of like rebelling against us. You know, like I said, like he walked into the room and he like looks at us and he's like, oh hell nah. And I'm kind of like, okay, well, what the fuck? So we'll see how it pans out. But yeah, I've got 2 Ethiopian cousins.
That's hilarious. I have a black uncle. My aunt married a black dude,
Okay.
but he's cool.
Okay.
He's
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't talk to him all that often. He's cool. He's nice enough.
Yeah.
Same like the family Christmas party.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that, yeah, that's a little different from like
No, yeah, I know.
the children and then like raising them like within your culture.
No, if we're just
That's
on the topic
cool.
of black relatives, that's all I got.
Yeah. But okay, so it's interesting though because the younger one, he's like 14, and it's so interesting hearing about how these younger kids navigate nowadays because all he wanted to like it seemed like he didn't have any like concrete goals. Like all he was talking about was like, well, I want to make millions or billions and I want to flex on people, and that's what he said like his friends talk about. So it's like the younger generation really seemed to be rooted in wanting to get a lot of money from social media. And I was thinking, you know, like when we were kids, I don't ever remember thinking to myself, like, when I grow up, I want to be a millionaire. Like, I remember growing up and thinking, like, well, one day I want to go to college and, like, maybe become a teacher or something. Like, I had, like, very concrete goals at a young age. But this kid is like, I want to make millions and, like, fuck hoes. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting.
So he's
So,
watching rap music videos.
yeah, yeah. And then he told me something that was really interesting that I had never heard of before, but I guess like it's what all the young kids are into and it's like from TikTok. But he was saying how there's like this there's like this explosion of like spirituality within this like middle school, young high school group, and they you know how like okay, so you know the term like energy vampire, like you know like you give your energy, like you want to surround people that give you positive energy. So what they do now is they classify like every single thing you do in life as like different levels of aura, which is like weird. And aura is kind of like the energy that you get. So and the way he was describing it, there was no like concrete rule to it. Like it didn't make sense. But then he started showing me the TikTok videos and they were everywhere. So it was stupid. It was like if you wear headphones that actually have the cord instead of just like the AirPods, you get like 5,000 aura. I was like,
That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
I know, that's what I thought. I was like, this makes no sense. And he was showing me all these videos of like, if you do this thing compared to this thing. And I kind of got the idea like, if you do something in like the way that we did it when we were kids, you get like plus like 7,000 aura. But then if you like do it another way, you like lose your energy. It was so stupid.
Yeah, it's super weird.
So I guess that's what the young kids of today are into.
Well, at least in the Midwest.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, it was all over TikTok from what he was showing me. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It was, yeah. I'm sure there's like stuff about it online, but it just seemed like some kid made it up and it's like a game. But
I feel like that's how it all starts. Some kid makes it up and it gets lucky.
yeah. Yeah. I'd never.
That's
But
kind of
yeah.
all I hope for with like this. Like one day I'll post like some TikTok of me saying dumb shit and then he'll just get lucky.
Yeah. That's like, yeah. Oh, here. Okay. So there's a ton of videos if you type on like on Google, how to gain aura points in school, tips and tricks. This is wild. So kids are actually doing this.
And it
Um,
really is about dumb shit like cords on your headphones.
Yeah, I remember the one video he showed me. It was like if you listen to AirPods, you get like minus 5,000 aura, but then if you like use the one with the cord, you get like 7,000. So I'm like, that makes no sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. So that's my story of talking with the youth of today and
Yeah,
my
I can't keep up.
cousins. Yeah, me either. But then I also have a cousin that was there, and he is from the Midwest, and he is our age, and he is in love with puppetry.
Oh, you told me about this one.
Yeah, my puppetry cousin. So I had to spend a lot of time with him. It wasn't as awkward as I thought it was going to be, and he didn't bring his box of puppets, which I was surprised about. Um, he drew them instead. So he had like a sketch pad, and so he was drawing his puppets. But he did say out loud, he was like, I know it's weird that a 30-year-old man loves puppets, but I do. And I'm like, okay, well, at least you are acknowledging that. So, and he was saying how hard it is to meet women.
Yeah, I can get with him on that one.
You know, I mean, like, I feel like Jim Henson's time is over. So I feel like, I mean, like, puppetry was cool, what, in like the 70s? Did you see The Dark Crystal?
No.
Oh, The Dark Crystal. Have you heard of it?
No.
So it's like I think it's like a Jim Henson movie. Let's see. But it's like, yeah, it is. It's like really creepy. Like I think like when kids watch it, it's kind of like what's that movie with David Bowie, Labyrinth?
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like that vibe, but it's like all puppets, and they make them all really creepy and scary. And it's basically about like this one species called a gelfling, and their species are like dying off. And then there's like these, I forget what they call them, but they basically look like Victorian vultures, and they want to take over the world with this like the dark crystal is what it is. And so this one like gelfling is like on a quest through the world to like save his people from these big vultures, and it is really cool. And there's a lot of like witchery and things like that in it, but I think
Yeah.
like one of Jim Henson's movies from the 70s. And then I think recently they made a second one, or like a show, but it wasn't as good, of course.
It never is.
Yeah. But that's like all I really know about puppetry. I don't know what your knowledge is of it.
Yeah, I've never it's cool. I mean, it's cool. It really is. Someone's really good at making that and like doing it all. It is cool. It's a skill for sure. I just never,
I feel like I'm more inclined to like stop motion animation.
Yeah, stop motion's badass. I went through a stop motion phase. I used to mess around with action figures and like a stop motion thing on my phone.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that video's still on this YouTube channel, actually. The one of no, I think I privated it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
It's literally just some of my horror action figures. Oh yeah, no, it's still up. It's called The Pumpkin Thief. It's Michael Myers versus Jason Voorhees, and then Goku comes in and saves the day.
Okay.
It's literally like I had a day off of work and I dicked around with an stop motion, but it is really cool. I also made a music video for one of my old bands, and it's literally just like stuff around my house that I'm like moving around. So like there's like aerosol bottles of like my mom's air freshener that I'm like moving and like, but that's one of my favorite ones. I used to do stuff like that for my band. I would just kind of take the reins and make stuff, and then our singer would get pissed. He'd be like, "Why'd you upload our song with a fucking stop motion video
That's
of
great.
like your shoes crawling across your room or something?" I'm like, "Oh, I thought it was fun."
Do you remember what was that band? There was a song in the early 2000s called Walkie Talkie Man. Do you remember that song? It was by
No.
Stereogram. Stereogram. I'll have to send you the song.
I recognize the name Stereogram.
Yeah, they did this song called Walkie Talkie Man, and I think it was all stop motion. I remember that. But when I think of stop motion, I just think of Robot Chicken.
Yeah.
That's all that comes to mind. Let's see. Did Jordan respond?
No, he hasn't even opened it.
Okay. All right then. But oh, okay, here's a story. Have you seen the new That 90s Show? What are your opinions?
I need to, but I haven't. I don't know if I can. I watched, of course, I saw the parts with like Eric and Donna and Kelso and Jackie, and I'm very attached to that 70s show. I don't know if I want to even.
I've been watching it. I mean, I like it for what it is. It's definitely not That 70s Show, but I mean, I think it's like entertaining if I like need something on in the background. Like I've been watching it. It's, while I work. I don't think it's like that bad, but it's like, so anyways, in one of the episodes, the girls get a job at Hot Topic and they make it look like 90s Hot Topic, and the manager is Seth Green.
I saw that. I saw a preview of that.
Yeah. And I haven't seen him in such a long time. Like, he is old now, which is scary. But yeah, I mean, wasn't he part of like the production of Robot Chicken?
Robot Chicken, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he hasn't. I'm like, oh my god, we're getting old. It's so scary. I feel like he's always been young. Like everything I've ever seen him in, he's always looked like Seth Green. He's this like small young man. And now I looked at him and I'm like, oh my god, he's old now.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a long time either, except for that preview of him at the Hot Topic.
Yeah.
I just watched the first 2 Austin Powers movies recently too, and I forgot that he was in them as
Yeah.
Dr. Evil's son. Yeah, he's always been that young.
Yeah.
Looking.
Always. But yeah, in the show, he really aged. But yeah, no, I mean, I think it's, yeah. They definitely try to like make it more contemporary for the time. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, they just released the pilot, so I don't know if it'll go all the way through, depending on what the public think.
Wait, that 90s show?
Yeah.
What do you mean the pilot? They're on like season 2.
No, I think it's like part 2. They released like part 2 of the first season. At least when I like saw it earlier.
No, they literally, Seth Green is in season 2. They're in season 2 now.
No, but it said like part 2. There was like a part 1 and a part 2. Let me look it up. Oh, is it?
There's a whole season out on Netflix. They're coming out with season 2 pretty soon, I'm pretty sure.
I'll have to see. I don't know, maybe my Netflix was tripping. When I like clicked it, it said pilot for like the whole season. But oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, they just renewed it for season 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's like, it's witty, it's good. I feel like the actress they picked to play Eric and Donna's daughter, she looks like a kid that they would have, and she acts like Eric too. So that's cool. But yeah, they just kind of like try to recreate a lot of the scenes from that 70s show.
I'm sure it's fine. Just for one, that 70s show is literally my favorite sitcom show of all time. And then 2, I really can't stand like 90s throwback stuff, because it seems like for some reason we never get 90s throwback right. Like that 70s show was like a perfect representation. It loved the well, I guess I can't say that I wasn't alive, and maybe that's why I think that, but no, because then my grandpa, when I was a kid, he used to watch that 70s show, and he used to always say, this is, it was a great 70s throwback show.
Yeah.
But to me, it seems like whenever I see any like Hollywood production do any kind of 90s throwback, I'm like, that's not even
Yeah.
that's not right. It doesn't look right. It doesn't, So I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm just kind of afraid to get into it and just be like, that's not how that's not where the shelf was in the Hot Topic in the 90s, actually. Like it should be 2 inches to the right, because I will do shit like that.
Well, I definitely feel like they could make the show a little edgier, but then at the same time, it's like it's Netflix and they're trying to cater towards like this world and how everything is so,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know,
So it won't work because that's not how the 90s was.
yeah. Like there
You have to,
definitely it needs to be more drug use, like that 70s show.
yeah. You have to make it you have to. I was gonna make a joke about the circle, but like with heroin,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, they can't do proper 90s throwback because half of what happened in the 90s is now deemed like inappropriate for.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I feel like they could, like the way they dress the characters needs to be a little more edgy. I mean, it is like a, just a sitcom. So they dress them like a sitcom. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's Netflix.
yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's entertaining. It kind of feels like to me when they rebooted Full House.
Oh, don't even start about that.
Yeah, like I watched that. That was even worse. It was so bad.
I was with my girlfriend, my last girlfriend at the time. I think we watched the first season and we hated it, but we're like, dude, we're not, like once you start a show, you just have to finish it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah, no, that one was even worse.
Did you know Stephanie, I think it's Stephanie and Kimmy have a podcast now?
Do they? What do
I,
they talk about?
they talk about behind the scenes Full House stuff. It's actually really cool. I follow it on my Instagram. It's some combination of their catchphrases. Let me look it up.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the actors who played Stephanie and DJ, and oh, it's just called the How Rude podcast. How Rude Tanneritos. Like Stephanie's How Rude, and then Kimmy is saying Tanneritos.
Yeah,
Yeah, on Instagram it's just called How Rude Podcast. Yeah, they got like 97,000 followers too. That's pretty good.
that's good.
But yeah, I think they had on Joey as a guest recently.
Did they?
Yeah, they just talk about the old Full House stuff.
Yeah. I loved early Full House.
Yeah, Full
But
House is one of my favorites. I used to
it's
watch it on fucking Nick at Night when I was a kid.
oh my gosh. You know what? Okay, speaking of Nick at Night, um, did you ever watch Degrassi as a
Yeah,
kid?
with a friend of mine.
Oh my gosh. Earlier today, I'll have to send it to you. I saw this reel that this guy made and he like recreated the Degrassi like what is it called? Like the beginning of it.
The opening credits.
Yeah, yeah. You know how it like pans to every character and they kind of turn around smiling?
Yeah.
He redid that. It was very funny. I loved Degrassi as a kid.
Do you remember the Taking Back Sunday episode?
Which one was that?
Taking Back Sunday played Make Damn Sure.
I've seen all the episodes, but it's been so long.
And the guitar playing kid gets to sing and open up for them, and he does cocaine and his nose starts bleeding when he's playing.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was such a big fan. Like, do you remember? Well, did you see all the seasons or
No,
only?
I never saw the whole entire.
Okay, so do you remember that one chick? What was her name? Manny. She was. What was she? She was like the Latino girl that was friends with Emma, the blonde girl. She had like
No,
black hair.
I can't remember her name.
Okay, so there was an episode where like this one main character, I think she kind of like comes of age and she wears like a thong to school and it's like the thong that like comes up over the jeans and I just remember like watching that as a kid and I was like, oh my God, she's so badass. Cause like, cause it was like early 2000s, like when people were doing that, like Carmen Electra and like all those people.
Yeah.
And so I was like watching this on like Nick at Night, and I'm like, and then she, of course, she like got in trouble with the principal, and then her father was like, "You're a slut," like, and then like because she started wearing that, it was like she wore the thong to school, and then next day she was like, "I want a boob job." Like it went from that to that, like instantly. And then like the episode was just about like, yeah, her kind of like turning into the school slut, and then she, of course she gets drunk, and like it's like filmed, and then she ruins her life like just in the one episode. And so the whole like moral of the story was like you shouldn't wear thongs to school, and you should like love your body and not get drunk.
You know, as a guy, I have to say, and any other guy who doesn't agree with me, they're just wrong. The exposed thong needs to come back. This is a look that needs to come back. This is one of my favorite things girls ever did. I was too young to enjoy it properly in the early 2000s, so I need it to come back so I can enjoy it now. I think it was awesome. When we were in element, you called it a whale tail as like a way to make fun of it.
Yeah.
But now, no, now I think it's the greatest. It needs to come back. Lita, back in like WWF, early WWE, like early 2000s, late 90s. Lita, she was a wrestler who always had the exposed thong, and she really went for it. It was like these might as well have been fucking suspenders. Her thong was like pulled up so high, like.
Yeah.
But
No,
I'm all for that. If any girls out there want to try to make that happen again,
I
I
mean,
will.
yeah.
Yeah, I would be down for it.
Like I remember there was like you'd wear the thong, but then some girls would get wild with it, and then they had like the thongs that had like 2 or 3 straps. So they like really came up over the hips, and those girls were like wild. So, and I remember this was going down when we were in like, I don't know, what were we in, like 8th, 9th, 10th grade?
We were younger.
Yeah, we were like young, and I remember like I remember being in like 9th grade, and then like seeing like seniors wearing that, and I'm like, oh my God, like she has sex. Like what is sex? Like
God.
yeah. That was just
Yeah, that's funny.
those were the
The stuff that used to be dangerous back then.
Yeah, no, it's like it's so funny. It's so funny. But yeah, I remember like learning all about that on Degrassi. But I remember like I was watching Degrassi at like a really young age, like when it came out, because I think it came out in like what, like 2001, 2002. So we were in like what, like first grade?
My year, my grade follows the year. So yeah, I graduated first grade in 2001.
Yeah, me too. So I remember like watching all this stuff like in first grade, because my parents would be like, yeah, you can just like, they were throwing on Nickelodeon for me, like thinking I'm watching like Rugrats. But then it's like,
Degrassi
comes on, and then I'm learning about like people taking drugs and like having sex because they're like 13 and I'm 7 watching this, and I'm like, oh, this is good. Like this is really good. And so that's like I think like the very first episode of Degrassi was the main blonde girl, Emma. She like, it was like right like when the internet was exploding, and so she like gets a computer and she starts like online chatting with some guy that she thinks is from like another school, and so she goes to meet him, and he's like staying at a hotel room, so she just straight goes to the hotel room. And then it's, of course, this like older guy who's a pedophile. Like first episode of Degrassi, I'm 7 watching this. Like, what's a pedophile? And I find out like right off the bat. And then the moral of the story was you shouldn't chat to people online and go and meet them.
Dude, now it's like that's all people do. Remember that meme that said it said like, back when you were younger, your mom told you not to talk to strangers on the internet and don't get into the car with a stranger. And then the next part is, now we use the internet to summon strangers in cars to get in with the like.
Exactly. Yeah.
You ever seen that movie Megan is Missing?
No, what is that?
Oh my God. So it's a horror movie, and
okay.
It used to be on YouTube for free. I don't know if it is anymore, but it's literally about like two teenage, I think like 14-year-old girls, and one of them talks to a guy on the internet and she gets abducted, and then her friend goes to save her. And it's like the worst, not worst like in quality, like it's like the most, like out of all the horror movies,
It's bad.
no, like it's dreadful. Like it leaves you feeling so hopeless. Like, so first of all, the entire movie is the acting is terrible up
Mhm.
until the very last 20 minutes when he puts a girl in a fucking drum and buries her alive, and like there's a rape scene, and it's probably like one of the worst rape scenes ever. Like it's the whole movie. Like I said, the acting is terrible. The way they portray teenagers is terrible. There's literally a scene with like a house party where like these 14-year-old girls are like sucking dick in a house party, and like the acting is it's
God.
the acting is god awful. The script was definitely written by like a 50-year-old man that has no idea what it's like to be a 14-year-old girl.
Yeah.
I say 50, probably more like in his 30s, but you know, an adult man that has no idea how young girls talk to each other.
Yeah.
But then you get to the last 20 minutes and it all pays off because the last 20 minutes are so horrifyingly like realistic that you're like, God, I need to like call my sister right now and take her phone away from her. Like,
Shame. Well, it looks like it's rated 4 out of 10 online.
you know, it's like I said,
So,
three-fourths of it is a trash movie, but the message of it, you know, the whole like don't talk to strangers on the internet, it is like
yeah.
the most like effective. Like you show any teenage girl that movie, like she will delete her Facebook and Instagram instantly.
When did it? It came out 2011.
Yeah. Yeah,
The
the last scene is terrible when she gets
oh,
abducted by the guy. Like it's like you have to shower. Like you have to fucking shower after you watch this thing.
I won't watch it. Oh, it says it takes place in North Hollywood.
That
Okay.
makes sense.
That does make sense. The budget was 30,000.
Low budget.
Okay. Yeah, low budget. Huh. That's interesting. Yeah. Wow. Huh. I don't know why there's like the first picture on Google is like of the movie, and then the second one is an ad for the day after tomorrow. Which is also an interesting movie. That's crazy. You know, also like so speaking of Degrassi, of course, like they go through all of the, you know, just like regular high school themes. And I remember there was like an episode where one of the characters, like they took ecstasy. And of course, like it's like at a party, and then they take it, and everybody's like, that's really not cool. Like, you shouldn't be doing it. But I just thought it was funny. Like, they took it, and then it like instantly they were like fucked up.
Oh
And
yeah.
I'm like, that's not how it works.
I love bad portrayals of drug use in like shows and movies.
Yeah. No, it's so funny because it's like she was just acting drunk basically. And I'm like, nah, that's not really how it works. You know, it's like instant, you know, instantaneously goes in the mouth and then she's drunk. And then of course she's like falling all over the place, uncontrollable. And I'm like, that's not what goes down. And then like, of course, everybody's like, we're really mad at you and disappointed in your actions. So
Wait, her friends?
yeah, like she was like with all of her friends.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it's Degrassi. At the end of the day, they're going to try to like portray that like drugs and alcohol are really bad for you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, you know, the one girl, she took drugs, and then everybody, like all of her best friends were like, you're not our friend anymore for doing this.
Which
It was,
also like never happens.
yeah, and then like her boyfriend like broke up with her. So
Oh god.
actually, it was the girl that was dating Drake's character. So like Jimmy. So Jimmy was like, "We're done."
That's
He was,
probably like the most known like fun fact about Degrassi is that Drake was the wheelchair guy in Degrassi.
I know. It's yeah, it's crazy. But I remember like that whole episode for the school shooting. I remember how big it was at the time and when they advertised it. And I just remember like everybody was scared to watch it because we were all what in like 6th grade. And so you're watching this and you're like, that's really scary. Like I'm gonna get nightmares. So crazy.
TV has never been the same.
I know, because like I mean it's crazy how like today when you see TV shows that try to portray like younger generations, they really glamorize them like in the way they dress. But what I liked about Degrassi is the way they filmed it, it just looked like regular kids off the street. Like just little to no makeup, like they looked like kids. And today it's like all these kids on TV shows, they're like 15 going on 30.
It's like fucking Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, like it's just like so ridiculous.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, the whole like Euphoria show is wild. I love Euphoria though, but it's like,
the only thing I do on Twitter is I keep up on politics and I like pictures of Sydney Sweeney. And that's like the only thing I exclusively do on Twitter.
didn't you like ask something on Instagram about her or Euphoria recently? Like,
yeah, I was curious because her character's always fucking on the show. I know why. I know why they write it that way because they need a reason to show her tits in the show so people watch. But I was curious in story, like, is she a slut in the show? Is that what's going on?
Because she's a part of like the popular girls, like the slutty popular girls that go out with the football players.
Okay.
And so it's like you can see like what happens is like there's this main girl, I forget her name, but she's like this Latina girl that's like really fucking hot. And she's like the most popular girl and she's going out with the most popular footballer. And so Sydney Sweeney plays her best friend, who's kind of like always in her shadow. So you can see that like Sydney tries to like fuck as much as possible to kind of feel like she gains her worth. And so throughout the series, what ends up happening is she starts hooking up with her best friend's boyfriend.
I've seen some of those clips.
Yeah.
Where she's like hiding in the bathroom with the guy and she's crying and she's banging on it.
Yeah. And then that of course all unravels and it turns into a thing. But like, of course he makes her feel like, no, I really want you. But it's like,
I was going to say, I really did like that scene where they're hiding in the bathroom and the friend's knocking.
Yeah.
Because, well, I always start off saying things like, oh, we've all been in these, but I know that not everyone has been in these situations. But like, and I've never been in that exact situation, but I think everyone, I mean, I just told you about how I hooked up with a dude's girlfriend over the weekend and I'm fucking 30. So like, yeah, everyone has been in situations where, especially when I was younger like that. What age are they?
I mean, their characters are supposed to be in like, I don't know, they're supposed to be like juniors in high school or something. Like
okay, yeah.
they're supposed to be like 17. Yeah.
We were definitely all like hooking up with each other's girlfriends and ex-girlfriends and like not telling each other and
yeah, no, they're doing like just high school shit, but they're like really sexualizing it and making them look glamorous. I mean, at the end of the day, like these actors are actually like in their late 20s, early 30s, and they are playing a 17-year-old, like Zendaya.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That gets weird. So there's a movie that I really like called Slumber Party Massacre, and it's from the 80s. I think it's like 83 or 84. Might even be like 82. It's the 80s. And the 80s was like notorious for having actors that were like in their 20s and 30s play teenagers.
Yeah.
So Slumber Party Massacre, it's about these girls that are literally in high school. One of them we know is 18 because she says she's 18, but we get an entire scene in that movie where we're in the showers in the high school locker room gym. Just like they're literally just camera shots. Like there's just a camera crawl going across like the girls' asses. And it's like, okay, like I get that they're all actors that are in their 20s and 30s, but if I'm suspending disbelief, I'm watching high school girls shower right now. Like,
yeah.
So that gets real awkward real quick.
I mean, I feel like all those movies and shows are like that. Like, what is it? Fast Times is like that,
That was the 80s, though.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess they're going to have like a season 3 of Euphoria come out next year. So, I mean, these people are just getting older. So.
They could probably run that shit through college, honestly.
Yeah. I don't know what they're gonna do. Because
I
like
guess I should watch it just to see Sydney Sweeney's tits.
it's a really good show. I know some people are for it and against it, but I just like the way they filmed it. It's really interesting. And
Yeah.
the one, so the what's her name? Zendaya, like her best friend in the show, who kind of is like someone that I don't know if it's like her girlfriend or like best friend, but it's this like trans girl, which is interesting. And she kind of dresses like a fairy throughout the whole show. So they really do make it like a new age. But one of the main characters is what's his name? It's the daughter of who's that actress from This Is 40? Leslie, is it Leslie Mann?
I have no idea.
Judd Apatow. You know him?
Oh,
So Judd Apatow is married to Leslie Mann, who was in This Is 40 and then George of the Jungle. And they have a daughter who they've actually put in a lot of their movies. And she's one of the main characters in the show. And she plays the sister of Sydney Sweeney. And
okay.
she plays like the sister who's like put together and like not slutty. And she's kind of like questioning her, like, what are you doing? And then Sydney's like, fuck off. He's finally so
I cannot do that anymore.
it's the sweat box.
Oh my God.
Well, you lasted like an hour and a half, so good job.
I literally just looked at the clock before I took it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't do it. There's got to be a way. There's got to be. Oh, this thing is soaking wet. There's got to be a way to like. Because I feel like it would be a lot cooler if I could wear this like every stream.
You need like, like when you're kids and you go to like a birthday party, you get those like paper masks with like the string that goes around your head.
Yeah.
You need like one of those with like a little like mouth hole.
But
then your face will breathe.
This actually looked cool though.
No, yeah, no, it was definitely interesting.
It would have been cool. I feel like this was just like I don't want to say it, not like like we skipped last week, so now we're just doing this week to catch back up before next week, basically.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I wore this, because I thought today was going to be like a throwaway stream.
I love it. You need like, how like I think they do this with like characters at Disneyland, but when people dress in costume, they install like little fans in there.
Oh,
That's what you need. You need like the back fan. You put it on your neck.
There's not enough room in here. I even had to cut this little like just to make a little bit of room, because it came just completely closed, and then it came with the mouth completely closed.
Oh.
But I cut it all because I wanted some air. But even with that air, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not enough.
You have to take like breaks. We'll be back in 5 minutes.
Yeah. So I can fan myself off. I probably will have to wait till winter, because in wintertime my room gets like freezing cold. I can't hang this up right now. And then maybe I could do it then.
You need like a summer mask and then like the winter one.
Well, what sucks is that I really started this whole like YouTube thing in the summertime, and my room gets really hot, and I like to wear hoodies.
Yeah.
So I should have started the shit in the wintertime.
Well, I mean, you could always like paint your face.
I used to paint my face for shows when I played in a band.
Yeah, just like chuck something on there, like Kiss, and then just...
we used to do and this was my high school band. I don't think I'd be allowed to do this anymore, but we used to do like our best impression of like Native American style face painting.
Okay.
And
you can't do that anymore.
Yeah, isn't there like a term for?
Yeah, cultural
appropriation.
It's so interesting because like I remember in high school like going to raves, and there were so many people that would like show up in the Indian headdress.
It's badass.
And yeah, it's like, it was cool. It's like nobody would bat an eye. They were like, oh, that's awesome. But now it's like,
I don't care. I'll still do it. That's the thing. I'm talking about how I can't. I'm not allowed to. Really, I still will. But no, yeah. So there was a band that we used to like. They did it for like 1 or 2 shows that we saw on YouTube, and then we started doing it. I actually have a pretty good story. We would paint our faces, Native American face paint style, and then kids started coming to our shows with the face paint on also. So
yeah,
it kind of became like our thing. So one time we were playing a show. For the past context, my great grandparents, they used to live in this house. It was kind of out in the back roads, and it's a very, in the middle of the back roads, very isolated. You have to drive down a dirt lot to get there. Like if you're going there, that's where you're going. You don't get lost going to their house.
yeah.
So, anyways, I was playing a show. I was like a junior in high school. My great grandparents had moved out for a while, so who knows who's living there. And except I didn't know that people were living there at this point. So I was hanging out at my show. I've got my face all painted up, all my makeup's on and shit, and I'm hanging out with the girl. And before my band played, me and this girl got in my car because I was going to take her for a drive and get some drinking done in the car before we played. So I took her out for a drive, and we just so happened to be passing by the area. So I was like, oh, let me show you where my great grandparents used to live. It's this cool little house out in the back roads. And so
Yeah.
I drove down the long dirt lot to get to the yard out front of their house, and there's an entire barbecue with all these Mexican families, and
Oh, no.
and I've got my face painted, and I'm like in my car, and they're all staring at me, and I'm kind of like driving up slowly, and I'm like, oh yeah, my bad, and I like turn around. It was hilarious.
Oh, that's great. What are you wearing?
Poncho.
Okay, I was like, it's kind of, it's like giving like, what is
Yeah.
it, like World War One in the trenches?
It's a hooded poncho. I really like
Yeah.
it though, but it's got
No,
this
it's
cool little.
good. It's like what's it called? What's that swamp guy from Adult Swim? Old Greg.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, from the Mighty Boosh.
I was gonna wear I'm yawning. I have like an actual like Grim Reaper, like
That
a
would be
cloak with the
cool.
hood. But like I said, it's way too hot. It's too hot
Yeah.
even in this thing.
I mean, you could always go for like a masquerade mask, and like hold
Just hold it the whole time.
like Eyes Wide Shut. You could do that, like just the top one. It straps to your head.
That now makes me think of Panic at the Disco's first album though.
Yeah, you could do that. I'm sure they have like a top skull you could just put on. That would be terrible. Oh man.
I think it sucks. This mask is really cool. It's just it's way too hot for sitting in here talking.
I'm sure they have like a half mask.
No, you can't do a half, and then you got to do all the way.
Oh, actually, it's the first thing on Google. Half mask skull.
What's it, just like the top of it?
Oh, that actually looks cool. Oh, you should totally get one of these. Oh, it's on Amazon. It's literally just the front of the skull, and then it like has a thing that attaches to your head. It's $11.99. They have them in, and then they have one that has no nose or teeth, so it's just the eyes.
Are you talking about the Forum Novelties one?
Yeah, but then there's the silver one as well that has the attachment. Or you could do off to the side. They have like the actual the face mask, like the breathable face mask that has the print of it. Oh, look at that one at the end. Crazy Hunter mask. And then it's like the black skull with studs and piercings.
I'm totally lost.
And then did you type it in?
Yeah, I'm on Amazon right now, and I don't think we have the same menus going.
Well, no, I typed it in on Google.
Yeah, so did I.
Google. I typed in half mask skull on Google, and then I'm just looking at the Google results right now.
Oh, see, I'm on Amazon now.
Okay. They have the adult creature skull half mask where it's just the teeth. There's options out there. These are like really weird.
I think I'll probably just give up on the wearing a mask on stream.
Yeah. I feel like some of these are pretty interesting though. It would be cool to have like a new one every time, throw everybody off.
I would want it to be a character.
Yeah, that would be good too.
That's the only reason I wore this one, because this is the character from the logo.
Okay. Yeah. Well, maybe you just need to put like a fan in front of you.
I have another fan, but it'll blow into the microphone.
Oh.
But I'll step it up during wintertime or something.
He's back. All right. So next week, I thought we could talk about like ghost stories.
Yeah, I need to. I'll go back to writing down subjects for stuff that I want to bring up.
Yeah. I'll just make a prompt like tell us about like a ghost story so we can talk about like haunted stuff and like scary movies and then yeah, whatever we want to talk about.
I usually try, I try to bring up fucking like shit like Sabrina Carpenter and
Yeah. Current events. We'll ask the public for their current events. I texted what's his name? My Instagram friend from I think he's watching. It says that we've had one watcher, so
see, I can't see that
somebody
one.
is watching.
I don't know what happened to the one. I used to be able to see that, and now it's.
Oh yeah, it still says that there's one person watching right now. I think it may be him. I sent him a message and said he can type in the chat, but he might just be silently observing.
Like on our actual streaming site?
He's watching on YouTube.
No, I know, but I mean like.
That's okay. Who's this? Hello. Okay, we have some.
But I mean, where do you see the one? Where do you see the one?
I go to your YouTube page, and then I click live, and then it says one watching.
Okay, so never mind. So yeah, no, you remember I used that Restream website, and it used to say it on our.
Oh.
On the website, but it for some reason doesn't show it to me anymore.
Oh, that's weird.
Because I don't want to go to the YouTube when I'm trying to keep up on the page that we're streaming on.
Yeah, I just have been glancing at it from my phone, but looks like he did watch, and he still is. So hello there.
Well, this has been the most boring stream we've ever done. So
no, I think it's been interesting. We've been talking about a lot of crap.
And I was just wearing a mask and sitting around.
Okay, so Jordan is from Georgia. I wonder if he has any cool ghost stories, considering there are many hauntings on that side of the world.
I would bet a lot of money that Jordan has some ghost stories.
Yeah, that would be cool. Maybe we can get him in for like 15 minutes next week. So
I'll have to plan it with him instead of just shooting him a text during the.
Yeah, just send it to him like the day before and let him know. And then, yeah, I don't know. We'll go from there. But we had one watcher tonight, so that's better than nothing. Thank you.
You know what's funny is last week was the best chat I've ever had. And, I had my subjects that I had pre-planned. I posted and so I'm in the middle of the stream and I'm going back and forth with everyone in the chat. And I'm like, this is a terrible stream. I didn't get to any of my topics that I wanted to talk about. And I was like, wait a minute. No, fuck you. If you're interacting with chat, that's the whole point of live streaming. Like,
yeah,
I'm such an asshole that I was like, oh, I didn't get to my pre-planned out subject. So they ruined it. I'm literally like mad at Jay for typing in the chat all night. I'm like, wait, no, Jay like kept the chat going all night.
Yeah. I do notice like when we say anything like controversial and political, then we kind of get bumped on the YouTube algorithm. So like next week.
What do you want to talk about next week then?
Well, okay, so next week we'll try and talk about like some horror stories or hauntings. And then, I don't know. I mean, there was actually a couple of things I could have said tonight about that new VP-elect, J.D. Vance. Have you seen about him?
I keep up on politics way more than people expect. Yeah.
Like, I read an article earlier that was like, he thinks that married couples with children should have more say in politics than everybody else.
I agree with that.
But like, why? Because everybody else is paying like
Well,
just as many taxes.
because you're gonna die in 60 years, and married couples with kids are actually trying to build a better future for their children.
I don't know. I just kind of feel like that makes everybody. I guess like to me, what? Okay. So we got to fill him in because I think he's in Cape Town, completely different country. Okay, so
All you need to know is that everything we're gonna talk about from here on out is retarded.
no. So basically, we're going through a presidential election. So Trump just elected his VP elect, and it's this guy that's like super conservative. And one of his beliefs is that married couples with children should have more say in like what goes on with democracy and politics than anybody else. So, or like, married couples that don't have children or single people. It's crazy. I don't know. That's just something that he believes in. So
I just explained it to you, though.
out.
I just explained it to you, though.
Oh, because they're going to populate the earth?
No, because they have kids who they need to, like I said, I'm gonna die in 50 years. Once I die,
Yeah.
it's over. But if I have a child who's like 5 years old, I'm trying to leave behind a better world for him.
Yeah. I mean, that's true.
It's saying it incorrectly. No, I'm not saying that I'm married. He's wrong in the way he says it, but I understand the point of it. It's like saying, yeah, no,
Well, yeah.
it's true. Single people do care about humanity, but I think what that guy is saying in the wrong way. I think what he's trying to say is that, married people with children, not even married people, just people with kids, they have a greater interest in the future of the country than we do. Because, like I said, once I die, I'm done. But if I have kids, I need to do my best to make sure they get to live in a better place than I got to live in. That's the whole point of being a parent.
I can understand that.
Yeah, I get what he's saying. Obviously, he said it wrong, and there has to be some kind of middle ground to where, you can't just say, if you don't have kids, go fuck yourself, But I doubt that's what he's saying. But we need to find a better way to word it,
I mean, yeah, I just don't like all these guys that are like, you have to have kids, and they want to get rid of contraception and abortion. I'm just like,
yeah, they all have a ton of shit I disagree with.
It was so interesting when I went to Minnesota last week. It was like, when you come out of the Twin Cities, which is like a huge, like modern metropolis area, and then you go into like the backwoods, I saw so many billboards that were like pro-life, and then a lot of them were like, it was like nuts. It was just like all these billboards of like, what was it like? I kept seeing one. It looked like the fucking like Gerber baby, like just blasted on a billboard, and then it was just like something about how like wanting children is like manly too, like, because like some men like just don't want to have kids. And so it was like, like wanting children is manly as well. I kept seeing that. And then a lot of them was just like adoption is always an option. It was like things like that, but it was like the fucking like Gerber baby face like everywhere. And I'm like, oh my God, these people are crazy.
See, I want to live somewhere in the middle ground. Like, I don't want to be seeing billboards that say like, here's the Gerber baby and go have 74 kids. But I also don't want to live in California and see like here's an abortion clinic on every street corner. Like, come in here for free. I want the middle ground. I want the one that's like, hey, do whatever the fuck you want. We're cool with you.
Yeah.
I like the live and let live style.
I just don't like how it's like portrayed that like women just like want to like just go have abortions all the time. Like that's not the case at all. It's just,
No, it's not.
we
But you have,
that option.
that's not the, and you're right. But you have to admit the fucking weird college kids that do all that shit. They make it look like that. The ones that
Yeah,
are
but
out
I feel like that's such a low number. Like the reality of it is just like,
yeah, no, the reality of it is that it's a traumatic and like horrifying experience that's
yeah.
nobody wants to have to go through it.
But it's also crazy to me that they want to like get rid of like contraception, which is like so wild. So
I have to look more.
like,
I only look into certain things. I need to look more. Like, what do you actually know what they want? Like, are they straight up? I don't believe they're saying get rid of fucking condoms, but I haven't looked into it.
I mean, I know that like I've seen a number of articles where they talk about like wanting to get rid of the pill just because
what
they
pill?
feel like the like birth control pill.
You know what? I've heard there are a couple conservative speakers that I listen to, and they're like, like I said, I listen to every fucking thing I can listen to. So these people are like the hardcore Christian conservatives, and they talk about how birth control pills are bad because it messes with the girl's hormones.
Yeah.
But I don't give a fuck. It's not my hormones. If you want to go fuck up your hormones, I don't care. So and plus, who am I to say? I've been taking advantage of girls on birth control for my entire adult life. So who am I?
Yeah.
I'm not down with that. If they're talking about getting rid of birth control, that's a step too far.
Yeah. But they are. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see.
That's the funniest part is that they talk about, you have all these people that right now they're talking about how we have this like big, massive problem with incels all over the world right now. But then they want to get rid of birth control. Like, what do you think is going to happen when you get rid of birth control? No one's going to be having sex anymore, and then it's really going to shit's really going to get out of control.
Yeah. No, it is. I don't know. It's not looking good. So,
but nothing's looking good. We have people that are like, I don't know. I could go off on both sides.
Getting rid of, yes, it is.
Yeah, you can't get rid of birth control. Birth control makes the world go round.
I think Florian, who's the current president of South Africa right now? That they're also equally as nuts as here. I remember a couple years ago when I was there visiting my family, it was the president of whoever ran their television and media department for the country was a blind guy. No, but that was really I saw that. And then there was
no way.
I remember watching on the news, there was some kind of I don't know what it was. It was some kind of election or something. And then Ramaphosa. And then so there was some kind, I don't know what it was, some kind of election or something, but basically it was you saw both parties and they were in a building at fist fighting, and someone threw a chair at another. It was
so they're badass over there.
It's nuts. It's very tribal.
Was that the one? Remember that video I posted of the guy condemning the girl and her pussy to hell or whatever? And you said remember that video? It's that guy speaking. It's clearly some political thing, but you said that's how politics are in Africa. And this guy was saying he's yelling something about your pussy will perish with you in hell, and he points at the camera.
It's
that's my favorite video of all time.
Okay, I want to say, who was it?
That was in Parliament. That's so cool. If that's really how shit goes over there.
Yeah, it was Parliament. Yeah, I remember that. I'll have to send you the video. It's on YouTube, where I just remember the one guy took a chair and threw it at the other. It was watching WWE. It was crazy.
That's how I wish it was.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Just because
that just wouldn't fly here.
If that's how it was, we wouldn't have this problem with all these way too old politicians, because they wouldn't survive. They'd get hit by a chair and die.
I remember years ago. I think it was before their current president. It was the last one. I think it might have been Zuma. And there was some kind of, it was on TV, and he was talking about like, I don't know, like a food shortage or something, but he was just saying that like, well, we can always just get food from the grocery store. And it's
Like, oh,
like,
really?
like what?
There really are people that don't know how food gets to the grocery store,
Like
though.
it was like crazy. Like the president of the country was just like, well, like we're not gonna have the shortage. It like you'll go to the store and get it.
Yeah, some people.
I'm like, that's nuts. Or like it was kind of like he was like asked like where does the food come from, like if they need it for a shortage, and he just said like, well, you just go to the store. And then people were like dumbfounded, like, is that how you think production works? That's nuts. But I feel like there's a number of countries that like run like that.
I think politics everywhere is kind of wild right now.
Yeah, it's so bad.
I think I think we take the cake, though. I think we can gladly say that we are taking the cake for like weirdest political scene right now.
Oh yeah. No, it's like I'm just over it. Like I'm just tired of hearing about everything. It's just like who cares? It's all crap. It's just
To me, it's always just like, dude, life's gonna go on. Like,
yeah.
maybe gas goes up another $1 for 4 years. Maybe it goes down $1. Like, that's why I think it's funny that everyone's been freaking out about like, oh, if this guy wins, America's gonna end, and if this guy wins, America. No, you know what's gonna happen? We're gonna have a guy that sucks for 4 years, and then we're gonna move the fuck along like we do every 4 years. Like that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's not. This guy's not gonna throw us in cages. Like this guy's not gonna transition all your children by force. Like this guy's not gonna bring back concentration camps. This like we're gonna move along. Maybe my milk will be more expensive. That will really suck. I'll complain about it, but shit's gonna go. You know, we're gonna be fine.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like at the end of the day, change will always prevail. As much as people want to like, you know, not do anything and go back to the time before, things will keep moving, whether or not they like that or not. But it will take time. I mean, I don't know if it'll happen in our lifetime.
I think it's going to be like this until we die. I don't think the country, you know, they talk about unity, like we need to unify. No one's unifying until some real bad shit happens.
Yeah.
There's like currently people on Twitter talking about how like they're celebrating that some guy just got shot at a fucking rally and died in front of his family. Like we're not unifying anytime soon. Like
yeah, no, it's not gonna happen.
But
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it's only gonna get worse for a while.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how the end of this year will play out. So.
I don't think it's gonna. I mean, it's gonna be entertaining. I think people always forget that when I talk about politics, I'm talking about fucking pro wrestling politics.
Yeah.
So like, I think we're gonna get Trump as our president again, and like some shit's like kids are gonna start freaking out, and it's gonna be hilarious.
I don't know. I mean,
unless someone kills the guy, like unless someone.
I actually really don't know. I mean, yeah, that's why I'm kind of like, okay, well, I got to get out of LA. If I go to Minnesota, if shit hits the fan, I could like run to Canada. Like it's like you gotta have your backup plan.
I would like to just find a spot in the middle of the fucking woods.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it's all playing out like Handmaid's Tale, and in Handmaid's Tale, everybody just goes north. So.
See, I don't think it's gonna get. I don't think that's not the kind of bad I think it's gonna get. I think the kind of bad I think it's gonna get is it's gonna be like college kids and like grandparents will be fighting in the middle of the streets, like.
Yeah, I mean, it might kind of be a replay of like, remember during COVID, when George Floyd was killed, and then everybody was rioting.
Yeah.
Fires. It might
Trump,
be like that.
If Trump wins, that's what's going to happen again, 100%.
Yeah.
Like 100%. But that's what I'm saying. I think that's ridiculous because, okay, I don't like Trump either. But if Trump wins, guess what? I'll carry on with my life, and then in 4 years we'll be on to the next shitty. Like it's just
But I don't know. I mean, everybody keeps talking about that project 2025. And so it's possible, like, if he comes in, he's going to be like, I'm not leaving. Because that's part of his,
No, that's the most
like,
ridiculous.
new.
Then the army goes in and fucking takes the guy out. I don't understand
Yeah,
why people.
but the army might be on his side. So
No, nobody's gonna let that. No, what do you think? He's gonna barricade himself in the White House with his dresser? Like that's not how it works.
I don't know. There's a lot of people that are like for this whole
And I think,
project thing. So
first of all, he has said he doesn't like the guy says he doesn't. That's not his thing. He's come out and said.
I don't know because everybody else in his circles is talking about it. Even this JD Vance guy.
Well, if I want to know, again, I don't like the guy, but if I want to know what a guy says, I listen to him. I think there's way too much like yeah, see, Trump will win and we'll carry on in 4 years. We already had him for 4 years and we survived. Like we are all just fine. Nobody got locked in a cage. Nobody got forced to have a baby. Nobody he didn't barricade himself behind the White House front doors with his dresser. Like
I know, but we lost like Roe versus Wade. Like, just they could be like.
That's nowhere near as dramatic as what you're saying, though. Like you're acting like
know.
this guy's going to take over the world. Like he's never going to leave
But
the
that
White House.
have you read the list of
Yes,
things?
and I don't believe that's what we're getting.
I don't know.
But no, if he's not, if anybody, do you know how much of a laughingstock that guy would be if he barricaded himself in the White House? You think nobody would go get him out? Like, first of all, no one else, like the CIA would get him out. Like, when he's the president, no one else actually works with him. Like, there's a couple people that work with him. I mean, look what happened. He tried to do a bunch of stuff when he was the president, and they all straight up disobeyed him and did their own thing.
Yeah.
He will not find a way to stay in the White House forever. Like, those are the people that I say need to get off TikTok and like go listen to real news and like stop watching MSNBC, stop getting your politics from TikTok, get off of Twitter, go listen to like a real libertarian or an anarchist talk about the current events and like they'll explain shit. But no, yeah, I think he'll win, and I think whatever, like he might change some shit. We might not like it, but
yeah,
we fucking survived 4 years of it already.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, it's 8 o'clock. I'm gonna go. Are you gonna go running?
Yeah, I've been running at 8:30 lately.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna do my thing, and then we will start up again next week. Thank you, Florian, for joining us in this conversation. We will be here same time next week.
I like this last comment of the Trump woman with the crying, laughing face.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's what we think here too.
See, I don't think that. I think Trump's just retarded. I don't think he's a dictator.
I don't know.
And again, I don't like the guy. You always need to say I don't like him. How can you be retarded and be like the world's most powerful dictator at this? Like Putin is smart. You can't lie about that.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump is so stupid that he doesn't realize how, like, when he loses an election, he thinks he can just like snap his fingers and make it. That's not a dictator. That's a retarded guy trying to call the shots. But
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the guy's stupid. He's too stupid to figure, like, you'd have to be a genius to take over America, and genius that guy is not.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah. Whenever I don't know, do you want to do are we doing a prompt for next week?
Yeah, so I'll make one about like bring a story to the table about like a haunting that you've witnessed or heard of, some kind of scary story.
Do you hear the squeak?
Yeah.
Okay, I need to figure out. I got a new chair. I need to find out the range because I don't want to be squeaking all.
I mean, I just heard that right now for the first time since you brought it up, but I didn't hear it before.
Okay, yeah, I'm still figuring it out.
You've been doing it.
I've done it a couple times on accident.
Okay, well, I haven't heard, so you should be okay.
All right, cool. I'm good.
And so okay, so let's see if we can bring in Man is Spitting. And let's see if we can bring in Jordan because he probably has some Georgia horror stories. And yeah, and then we'll keep talking shit.
If we bring Jordan on next week, I really want to ask him about the assassination shit. I have to ask him about that. It'll be old. Yeah. It'll be old news by that point. But I want to rant with Jordan about that whole episode, because I bet he's got a cool opinion.
I'm sure he does. I'm sure he's got something loud and wild to say. So we'll do that. And then, yeah. So thank you for coming. And we'll be here same time next week. I'll be posting links. Okay. All right. I'm going to go.
All right, I'm gonna hit the end.